welcome to my channel. I am Tori Lynn. Let's blossom today. I'm going to be recreating a challenge that Nikki Tutorials did a few weeks back where she used every eyeshadow palette in her collection to make a look, and that's what I'm doing. I actually haven't even counted them, so give me a second here. I have 28 palettes here, which if you watch Nikki Tutorials video is nowhere near. She had like 100 and something, a lot of palettes. This is a lot for me, I feel like, to try to incorporate into one look. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw my base on, my foundation and stuff, and just get that ready to go. Base is on. So I think I'm gonna do kind of just continue with my normal makeup routine. After I do my skin and set and all that good stuff, I move to my brows. So I'm gonna start with this Burt's Bees Dusky Woods palette. It's just a little trio palette, and I'm gonna use the brown, matte brown shade in the palette. I hope this isn't too dark for my brow color. It might be a little bit, but or a lot, but it's okay. I got a little bit of grow out, a little bit of roots, so I think it'll blend in okay with my hair being back today. I have no idea. Oh, it's really dark. When the last time I used shadow to do my brows, I have no idea. There definitely was a time in my life where I did do eyeshadow for my brows, but then I started with pencils and then moved into pomade. Now I'm kind of back into pencils, but like, wow, that is a dark brow. Okay, this is starting well. You know what I should have done was use this shade for the tail of my brow and then moved into a lighter shade for the intersection of the brow. So, you know, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna jump into the next palette I just have sitting next to me is the Tartelette original Tartelette palette, and I think I'm gonna use the shade Wanderer. It's a much lighter brown, just kind of a nice light taupey brown, and I'm gonna work that on the inner corner. That definitely made a much softer brow. I mean, they're still really thick and intense, but it's a little softer than it was before. I also never use this brush, and it is like thick. It is thick and making it hard to do these brows. So I do think I need to conceal them before I move any farther, so I'm gonna do that really fast. Alright, they're still really thick and dark, but we're just gonna move on from there. Let's go into the next palette just sitting here. It's also another Tarte palette. It's the Tartelette in Bloom palette, and we're gonna use the shade called Charmer. It's the nice creamy vanilla white shade, and we're gonna lay that on the lid just to give us a nice base. Next, I'm grabbing the Anastasia Beverly Hills A Modern Renaissance palette, and I think I'm gonna jump into this shade called Golden Orchard. It's just a really nice light brown. It'll go perfect in the crease. I have no idea what this look is going to turn out like or what even my goal is. I'm kind of looking at each palette and deciding, okay, that's the color I want to go for. It's a really soft crease color in there, nothing crazy, because I'm sure the crazy is yet to come. I wanted to start off nice and soft and simple. So Sweet Peach is next. This is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, and I'm gonna go in with the shade called Puree. It's a little warmer, darker brown than the last shade, and I'm just gonna build a little more depth into that crease. Now I'm gonna be grabbing the e.l.f. Rose Gold Nude palette. I want to jump into this really pretty kind of purpley taupey shade. It's a really soft, lighter color, and I'm gonna lay that on the lid. Next, we're gonna go into this Pur Cosmetics Buff Collection eyeshadow palette. This kind of always reminded me of a knockoff of one of the Urban Decay Naked palettes. I think we're gonna go into purpley matte shade called Clay. This is pretty similar, I feel like, to the shade we used last. And we're gonna work that on the outer half of the eye, kind of meeting that brown that we put down, kind of marrying it with that lighter purple we used from the last palette. Alright guys, that was one stack. I have 4 stacks, so 1 stack down. Let's go ahead and move into the next palette. So that would be the Shane Dawson Jeffree Star Conspiracy palette. This is a bright, super fun palette. And I think I want to take the color called My Pills. It's a really kind of light pink. And I want to brighten up that inner corner a little bit. So I'm just going to pack that really light shade right in the inner corner of the lid. So we're getting this really nice gradient from light to dark on that lid with some more pinky purpley kind of hues. Now I'm going to take, this is a Blink and a boxycharm electric eye palette. They're all shimmery shades. So I think we're going to take this lightest shimmery shade here. Actually, you know what? Let's get bold. Let's take this kind of more red shade and let's pop that right in the outer crease. Palette I honestly haven't used in a really long time. It's actually really powdery. And I don't remember it being so powdery. I feel like I remember the shades having a little more pigment than this. But like, look at, it's just doing a weird, like, I don't know. It's not that pretty. Maybe I'm using the wrong brush with it. Because that shadow went on so chunky funky, I'm going to take my blending brush and kind of try to work that shadow out just a little bit. See if I can like soften it up or do something to kind of disperse that chunkiness. Blend a little bit. That actually helped a ton. Next I have this Juvia's Place Warrior 2 palette. And I think I want to use this shade as my bronzer. Actually really love both of these shades. I wish I could use them for more, but I think that using this shade called Yodit, I'm not really sure if it's Yodit or Yodit, but it's just a really nice pretty brown. I think will look really pretty. It's very warm toned and we need some bronzer. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually, that's really pretty. It's a little warmer, a little bit orangier than I would typically go for, but I think that that's okay. I think this look is just going to be kind of wild as it is. So another one of my favorite palettes. This is the Beauty Bakery Proof is in the Pudding palette. I want to take this shade called Bread Pudding. It's a really pretty warm tone, like tan brown that I think will make a really pretty nose contour. Alright, the next palette is the Tartelette of the Sea Volume 2 palette. And I think I want to take the shade called Pearl. It's the really pearlescent white shade. And I'm going to brush that over the brow bone. Make this our brow highlight. Next is the Tartelette Toasted palette. This palette is a newer one of mine, but it's so pretty. I love my Tarte palettes. So I think I want to take the shade called Cozy. It's kind of a toasty burnt reddish brown. And I'm going to build even some more depth on top of that shade in our outer corner. Alright, so the next palette I grabbed is this My Little Pony and Colourpop palette. And I think I want to take this kind of mauve-y, rosy pink shade and kind of just smoke out that crease shadow. Kind of give us a little bit of a pinky haze to it. Now I've got the Pur Cosmetics Volume 1 palette. And I think I'm going to take this really pale pink shimmery shade called La Costa. And I'm going to work that shade over kind of the whole inner half of the lid, but really focusing it right in the center. Gonna kind of give us that window effect to make our eyes look bigger and brighter. I really like how this look is kind of taking a turn for a pinky rose goldy look when I did not have any clue what it was gonna be. Originally thought I was maybe gonna stick with as many neutral browns as I could, but I think that this is actually really pretty. I mean, if we could stop here, that'd be great, but obviously we can't, so moving on. This palette is gonna be hard to incorporate. This is the Laura Lee Los Angeles Party Animal palette. It's got some vibrant, and when I say vibrant, I mean vibrant colors in there. So I think I wanna take the pink shade called Bottoms Up, and I'm gonna work that on the outer half of the lower lash line. Add just kind of a pinky bubblegummy hue to it. And I think just to tie it in a little bit, I'm going to take a little bit on the lash line of the upper lashes as well. Just right on the outer corner to kind of make a little V situation to connect them. Now this palette's a really soft nude palette. This is the Real Her eyeshadow palette 3. This is their 3 palette. I Feel Beautiful. And it's got a lot of really pretty, super soft, cool toned nudes. I think I want to take the shade called Impeccable. It's the really pretty, more vibrant purple shade in the palette. And I'm going to use that on the inner half of the lower lash line. This brush doesn't work well with this color, or this color is just very soft. Next, I'm going to be taking this BoxyCharm and Pure Collaboration palette. And I'm going to take this shade called Duet. It's a nice, really dark, purpley brown shade. And I'm going to rough sketch out just kind of a smoky liner, if you will. Next, I'm going to take this Winky Luxe Kitten palette. I'm going to take this kind of reddish, maroony, purpley shade. And I'm going to smoke out the tail of that eyeshadow. I'm gonna make this pretty soft faux wing. Next we have the Too Faced Hot Butter Rum palette. I'm gonna use the really light shimmery shade called Whipped Cream. And I'm gonna pop that on the inner corner as a nice highlight. Actually, that's a stunning highlight. I think I need to start using that more. Like, that's gorgeous. Oh guys, we are getting places. We are getting places. Next we have this Naked Cosmetics. This Naked Cosmetics Trio palette. It just has 3 shades, so I think we're gonna go with the more red shade because it kind of goes with the look we already have going. And I want to add that shade, I think, right out against at the very corner of that lower lash line. Kind of drag it up to that smoky tail we just made. Next, I'm going to take my Disney Designer Collection from Colourpop. This is the Midnight Masquerade palette. I think I'm going to use the shade called Damsel. It's this really pretty, soft, kind of dusty, rosy pink shade. I'm going to use this as my blush. I think it will really kind of tie the cheeks into the look. Really wanted to incorporate Floating Lantern, but I just think that's going to be way too much for this look. I feel like we've already got a lot of colors packed on. I think adding that glitter, especially when we're not done, is just going to be too much, although it is a stunning shade. I just don't think it's the time for that. Alright, now we've got this Ace Beauty Grandiose palette, which I did just recently use on my channel. I think I want to use this Poppy shade because it's really pretty and I think it will go really nicely with this look. I'm just going to take it on kind of a fluffier brush and work it over that tail to really smoke out that tail that we created on the outer corner there with the eyeliner. Yeah, that looks pretty. Adds just a little more warmth out there, kind of tying in that really pink that we used on the lower lash line. I think it's actually looking really pretty considering all that has gone into it. Now I have the BH Cosmetics Carli Bybel palette. This palette's a mess because I bought this palette years ago and it was my favorite for such a long time. I mean, look at how crazy I went with it. I think I'm gonna kind of mix these two because there's not much left of either one. And they don't have shadow names or anything, but I'm gonna mix these two shadow or highlights and pop those on my cheekbones. This is a Crown Pro palette. When I got this, it had a broken shadow in it, which I was so bummed about. I think I want to take this kind of rose goldy shimmery shade and kind of pop that in between that real bright one shimmery shade we put in the center and the outer corner. I think this is going to blend everything together really nicely because it's kind of that in between light and dark, but it has that nice pretty metallic that will look so gorgeous on the lid. Guys, we have 3 palettes left. That is it. Like, we're getting so close to finishing up this bad boy. I'm gonna go in with the Pur Cosmetics Sorry Diaries palette, and I think this vanilla shade called Mogul, I'm not really sure. I think would look really pretty to brighten up that under eye, especially because we've got some fallout and stuff. So I'm gonna grab just a smaller brush here and kind of jump into that shade. It's kind of gonna be like a banana powder shade, if you will. Brighten up that center to clear out any fallout. I'm even gonna bring it up onto the side of the nose just a little bit because, well, we got a little maybe carried away with that nose contour. Yeah, that definitely brightened up those under eyes a lot. It looks so much better. Alright guys, 2 palettes left to go. We are getting there. The next one is going to be my newest palette addition. This is the Jeffree Star Cremated palette. You know, we're going to be jumping into that shade called Diamond Dust as another highlight. This will look bomb.com on those cheekbones, especially after adding that banana powder shade. Kind of took a, wow, that is stunning. Oh my gosh, she is dewy to the gods. I'm also going to do a little bit on my temples as well. I am obsessed with that shade, you guys. Like, oh, look at that. That's beautiful. I mean, it is dewy. Maybe even a little greasy, but like, I'm here for it. I'm living for that. Ta-da! The last shade. Last palette. The last one we have to do. It is the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. Finish this off. I want to get wild, guys, and I want to use some shadow on the lips because we've pretty much used shadow on the rest of the face. Our eyes, I think, look really good with some lashes on. We'll just finish that up. So let's do it. Let's use some shadow as the lip color. And I think I have to go bold here, and I have to go with the shade called Flamingo. It is the bright pink shade in the center of the palette. And I think what I'm going to do is take just a little bit of lip balm. This is the Mario Badescu lip balm to give something to adhere that shadow to. If my lips are dry, I feel like I'm just going to be kind of putting chalk on my lips. This way I feel like we could almost make a sort of a lip stick or lip cream. And my lips really needed this. They have been really dry today. There's not a lot on there. I didn't want to make it gooey. I just wanted to make it kind of wet or tacky. So now let's go ahead and just dip into that Flamingo. I really hope that doesn't ruin my eyeshadow because it made like a greasy wet spot from dipping into it. But actually that turned out a lot softer and more subtle than I had anticipated. You know, looking at that shade, it is bright, but mixing it with that chapstick made a really soft, subtle, dusty rose, I think. Really pretty. It goes pretty well with the look. Maybe a little pinker than the look, but that's alright. So the last thing I think I have to do is throw on some lashes. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some lashes on and show you the finished product. Alright, I got my lashes on and they are drying. Actually, I'm really happy with how this look turned out. I think it's really pretty. I don't know that I would necessarily wear this lip color and put that bright pink on the lower lash line like I did, but honestly, I think it all came out pretty cohesive. Had no idea where this look was going to go when I started or even as I was getting through it. I didn't know where we were going to go with it. I am actually really happy. I'm glad we didn't end up with just like this muddy mess on our face, obviously. The muddiest part of this look is the bronzer, and that's because I was using an eyeshadow as a bronzer, and I don't know why, but it never works out quite right for me. This side doesn't look too bad. This side maybe got a little muddy. It's just not quite the right color. The highlight, though, stunning. Oh my gosh. And this lip color is really pretty. And using that lip balm makes it feel really good on the lips. It doesn't feel like I have chalk or this dry, crusty stuff all over my lips. It feels really good, actually. Very comfortable. Other than the brows being really too dark, I really like this look. I'm actually happy with how it turned out considering I had 20-something palettes against me. It turned out pretty good. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you on my next video. Bye.